Imagine the iron mining regions of Sweden in the late 19th century. It is a world defined by its winters, dark, isolated, and physically exhausting. Selma Lagerlöf made her name writing about this harsh landscape. She became a literary giant, understanding how surroundings could dictate a person's spirit. Her protagonist is a nameless peddler, a man in rags who survives by twisting wire into small rat traps. When sales are slow, he resorts to begging and petty thievery just to stay alive. This level of extreme poverty strips away the man's identity. He haunts the edges of a transactional society, a nameless figure who has become invisible to the world around him. While trudging along the frozen roads, the peddler has a grim epiphany. He realizes that the entire world operates exactly like the crude wire traps he carries in his pack. This schematic shows how he views human desire. Riches, warm clothing, and food function like the cheese and pork inside a wire trap. The moment a person touches it, the trap closes, the world caves in, and their freedom is gone forever. It's a bitter philosophy, but it's the only way he can make sense of his misery. The story begins when he is forced to see if he can live by his own theory. This isn't just a travelogue of a beggar. It is a psychological drama where a man's entire worldview is put on trial. One dark night, the peddler knocks on the door of an isolated red cottage, sitting alone in the snow, hoping for a place to rest. He expects the usual rejection. Instead, he meets a lonely crofter who welcomes him with hot porridge, tobacco, and eager, trusting conversation. In his desperation for a connection, the crofter makes a mistake. He takes 30 kroner out of a leather pouch hanging by the window to show the peddler exactly how much he has earned. The peddler cannot resist. The next morning, when the crofter leaves to milk his cow, the peddler returns, smashes the window, and steals the money. By taking that cash, he confirms his own dark theory. He saw the bait, he reached for the comfort, and the trap began to close. To avoid the police, he plunges into the dense woods. But as we track his movements, we see he is walking in endless, panicked circles, eventually realizing he has no idea where he is. The physical forest becomes his psychological cage. He realizes his greed has finally lured him into a trap he cannot escape. Exhausted, he stumbles into the Ramshow ironworks. There, the ironmaster mistakes the filthy peddler for an old regimental comrade and invites him home for Christmas. The ironmaster's hospitality is strictly conditional. The moment the peddler is cleaned up and his true identity is revealed in the daylight, the host's warmth turns to anger and threats of the sheriff. This reaction validates the peddler's cynicism. It proves society is built on false appearances and is ready to crush anyone who fails to fit the mold. However, the ironmaster's daughter, Edla, sees the situation differently. She observes the man's fear and realizes immediately that he is either a thief or a fugitive, not a military captain. Even with this knowledge, she stops her father from evicting him. She insists he stay for Christmas, wanting to give a man who is chased away by everyone else a single day of peace. Edla offers him warmth, food, and dignity without expecting anything in return. Her kindness is entirely unconditional. This act of grace challenges his cynical worldview. Edla treats him with respect despite knowing his crimes, a gesture that provides no material benefit to her, but forces the peddler to confront a reality where mercy exists. The tension breaks the next day when Edla and her father go to church. They hear about the crofter being robbed by a man selling rat traps and rush home, fully expecting their house to be looted. Instead, they find the peddler is gone, leaving behind a small rat trap containing the stolen 30 kroner and a thank you note. He asks Edla to return the money to the old crofter, and at the bottom, he signs the letter as Captain von Stahle. Because she treated him like a captain, he found the internal resolve to act like one. Lagerlöf's thesis is clear. While the world does offer material temptations, unconditional empathy has the power to revive a person's dormant goodness. This deep understanding of human redemption is what earned Lagerlöf global recognition and her place in history as a Nobel laureate. Compassion is more than a nicety. It is the only force capable of breaking the cycle of cynicism and freeing us from the traps we build for ourselves.